Welcome to Software for Schools. This video will walk you through the basics of how to set up and navigate our application, modify the system values, and manage your users. After watching this video, you will find many short videos focused on each individual module and specific parts of the application so you can quickly find what you need. Navigation is split up into two sections. On the left side, you will find access to different modules that you own from Software for Schools. Active licenses will show up on the top, and then below the line you'll find any applications that have expired or products that you have not yet purchased. Clicking on the link on the left navigation bar will take you to that module. The second part of our navigation is on the top part, which you will find in each specific module. As you can see, the options have changed when I went into announcements versus when I go into ticketing. Clicking on the modules that have expired will take you to the renewal page where you can request a quote, renew by a PO, or renew with a credit card. Clicking on modules that you don't have access to will take you to a page that has a short video so you can learn more about that specific module. Continuing down the left side of the navigation, you'll find access to our help documents and videos, which are also sorted by module. The System Settings link is where we will spend most of the rest of the video, and you can access all of your global settings from there. Finally, clicking on your name will allow you to update your user preferences as well as log out. When you go into System Settings, you will see the top of the navigation has several options. The home icon will take you to the landing page where you can navigate the modules by clicking on these icons. These are also the same links as the left navigation. Next, going into Users is where you'll manage all of your users. At the time of creating this video, you can only manage staff here, but soon you'll also be able to manage students here as well, and we'll create an additional video to walk you through that process. The platform is very consistent, so adding and editing students will work just like adding and editing staff members. To add a new staff member, click on the Add Staff button at the top right corner of the page. Within each module, you will always find the primary action button here for adding new things like an event or an election. The first tab will always be General Details. For here, adding a new user, you will set the name, email, and password. Below that, we will define what the user has access to. When the switch is light gray, that means the feature is off. When you turn the feature on, it will always change to the primary color of that module, in this case dark gray. Next, you will see for each module you can set the access level. We have three types of access levels which will vary based on each module. In general, Super User is full access and can configure all of the options for that module. Basic users are typically your general users who can use the module, view reports, and make minor changes. And finally, limited users are restricted and intended for student leadership students that might need to run a program, but you don't want them making changes to student records or the system. For more details on specific user permissions, see our help documents under the Settings and Manage User Permissions. Next, you will notice that there is a second tab under the Users. This is where you'll find the Settings. Depending on what modules you've given access to this user, there will be different options here. For example, if you give access to a module that can use a printer, you can set the printer options for that user here. The Users table will display all users and what access level they have for each module. Clicking on the Edit button will take you back to the same modal where you can make changes to the access level or update the user settings. When you see checkboxes to the left of a username or a record, you will see an action bar show up when you check one or more. Here you can see the options in this case are to deactivate the following users. You can click the View Inactive Users to follow the same procedure and reactivate them. Under the System Values, you will see the global settings that apply to all of the modules. Global settings include things like school name, time zone, and if you plan to use our application for tracking and rewarding students using Spirit Points, you can turn that feature on. Under the Module Specific tabs, you can set values for each module. For example, here in Store, if you're using our credit card integration, you can put the credit card API key in here. Another example for voting would be to set the description of how students will log in. For example, if you're using student ID number as their username, you can change the value here. You can also set the login notes to help guide students on how to log into the application. We suggest that you take time to look at all of the options for the modules that you plan to use, and you can reference our help documents for more details. Finally, the Reports tab will show you all of the login attempts. This is helpful especially with voting when students are trying to log in and cannot access the system. You can see a list of all attempts for the user ID that they attempted to use and the password if it was incorrect. If they use the correct password, it will not be displayed for security purposes. The filters across the top will allow the table to be filtered down based on specific attempts. You can filter by user type, product, or even show the successful and unsuccessful attempts. We have now gone through the basics of navigation, managing users, and system values. We recommend that you continue your learning by going to the Getting Started help document for each module, where you'll find another short video for how to configure that specific module. We truly hope you enjoy using our platform, and we're here to help by phone, email, or chat when you need us.